trying to. Sick. Well, just let me copy this. There we go. Really, that's not what I wanted you to do. It's unreal. All right, yeah, I don't know. I did something, but it's not great. So I was trying to get you the link, but I'm gonna go ahead and give up on that. All right, let's go ahead and start it too. Let me see where I can. Sweet.
The recording is in progress.
Robbery in progress.
All right,
we're gonna be very quiet for this episode. That's a good.
This is the library. It's the library episode. Welcome to. He is Patrick. I'm James. It's episode 170. You know what that means.
170 is the sex number. I don't know if you knew that.
Sex number. We spent as is our custom. We spent most of the planning for this episode in the 2 minutes leading up to actually hitting record, talking about rappers, and because I appreciate 90s hip hop and like early 2000s hip hop, but I haven't. I've settled very firmly into, you know, overweight middle-aged white dad music, and that was there's not a whole lot of room for rap in the aesthetic that I'm going for at this point in time. But true. I did come across a song that I kind of like it by Logic, and I was asking Pat, and Pat, you can I want you to give your opinion on Logic as a rapper.
Well, first off, I want to know how you just came across a rap song. What are you doing? What were you on? How did you just come across a rap song?
I tried to, because I mean I've read something that you get to a point in your life where you do not progress past what you listened to when you were in your early 20s. And I was taken aback, because for me that is almost frighteningly accurate. And so I was trying to branch out a little bit, and just hitting up some different playlists on Spotify.
Okay.
And that's how I came across it.
All right, that's not fun. That's not fun to make fun of. That's a pretty good answer. I was gonna just see if it was something ridiculous, like it was like you were watching some movie on TNT and you looked up the soundtrack, just like some.
I went to Sam Goody in the mall. I asked a teen. I tried to hum the bass line and see if the teen could guess it.
It's like a hit on the Dune soundtrack or something, and you just like so that's what I was getting at. Logic as a rapper, he's a kind of a bozo, you know. very, very talented in terms of rhyming skills, MC skills, so to speak, but he was just kind of whiny his whole career. And like his whole thing was, am I black or am I white? And can I say the N-word or not? And he finally decided he could say the N-word and said it. And then everybody was like, no, you can't say it. So
is he?
He's half. He's half. But like, I don't want me to make light of that struggle, but that was his whole identity struggle, was like, where does he fit in the scheme of things? Because he kind of looks like a white dork.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it now. I refuse to believe this. That there's no way.
You can look. That does kind of suck though, for you to just, if you look white, then you, no matter how, if you're half black, you just like, you can't. It's like Drake, same thing. He's allowed to say whatever he wants.
I actively dislike Drake.
I love Drake. Well, I don't like the whole pedophile thing, but his music.
I cannot wrap my head around this. I cannot get over that. This is what this dude looks like.
Oh yeah, he looks like Squints. He looks like Squints. Oh, he really does. But so that was like his whole thing was just like nobody could really take him seriously because he just kind of whining about all that is all just all about his identity, which is I guess what you would write your own songs about. But it was just okay, we can't take your hard rap lyrics seriously if this is your whole thing. So
I'm shook. Okay, I take it all back. Like you can't. I don't know. I still like this. I still like the song, but whatever. So I was looking at the album. The album. I was looking because I mean that's the only song of his I believe that I've ever heard, and there's some Wu-Tang collaboration on it. Haley Steinfeld, who I believe is from Paramore, is that right?
I thought Paramore's name was Paramore's name was like a witch name.
And then there's one by Ryan Tedder, and I'm gonna look this up to make sure there's a collaboration with Ryan Tedder. And I'm gonna look this up, but I do have it's very tangential. It is one. All right.
Now, who is Ryan Tedder?
Ryan Tedder is the main guy in One Republic.
How do you know? Okay, I guess if you have a story, then you do how you would know that. But I was
okay. This is the only reason because I know every One Republic song that every girl who's probably now like in her late 20s would know.
There's only two of them.
One of my really good friends. We're still friends. We're not terribly close. So I can't claim this as Anyway, we went to college together. Absolutely, he's sort of TikTok famous now, which is bizarre. It's not strange. Like you would totally expect him to be TikTok, but he breaks down like marketing campaigns and why different marketing campaigns are effective on TikTok. He has a marketing, like that's part of his background. Like
that's pretty cool.
He ran a production company, a small production company in Los Angeles, but he's from like South Central Oklahoma, like really small town, and it's just really he's a really cool guy. And we both listen to the same types of music, and which is kind of how we became friends in college because I had some various 90s Britpop band posters on my wall. He's like, wait a second, you know Pulp? And he hit me with the classic, like when someone is infringed on your territory, you ask them questions rather than you just like accept, like you just embrace the fact that you have something in common.
What, so like he was like do to women in baseball? Like
exactly. He was like
SAT level test to answer questions they don't even know, just to like prove that they're just to be allowed to like the game. Pretty awesome.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Exactly. It's exactly because he goes, what's the he saw I had a Pulp poster on my wall and he goes, oh, you like Pulp? What's the keyboardist's name? And I was like Candida Doyle, and he was like, oh, and we were like friends after that, because I was right.
Yeah, you passed the trolls riddle. You solved the trolls riddle, and you're allowed to pass the bridge. Like that's crazy. Why did you know that? Every band I've loved, I don't think I've ever looked up what the names of their keyboardist is or the name of the members.
Well, I was a big liner notes guy. I loved reading liner notes of like CDs and various albums.
True.
And it's kind of hard. I mean, she was gorgeous, and it's hard to forget a beautiful British woman named Candida, as in like the yeast. Like that's incredible.
Okay, true. I'll back off on that.
Okay, so he moves to LA. I love that. I don't know how many minutes we're into this, and we have not even addressed what this is where we're at. The season is about. And so he moves to LA, and I ended up, when I was up in Cooperstown, I ended up going to LA for like a work thing. And we were able to work it out to where we could meet up and have a drink, after I sort of got done with my responsibilities for the day. So we're sitting there talking, and and another buddy of ours who's has a really funny Ed Harris story, which we'll have to save for another show. They laughed at something like Tedder, and I was like Tedder, and it was like, oh no, it's the main guy in One Republic. And my friend who's the marketing TikTok guy was roommates with Ryan Tedder in LA right as One Republic was hitting it big.
No way.
And he was like no kidding, like we were eating catch-up packets for dinner one night, and the next day he bought like a Ferrari, like because whatever song hit first, like it was literally
Apologize.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was like literally overnight, change of like lifestyle altering, generational lifestyle altering.
That was a really good song. I got to give him credit. Pretty good song.
Every history teacher loves that song because somebody did a parody of that song about the American Revolution.
Really?
And how King George sings the I think it's King George sings the chorus where he's telling the colonists it's too late to apologize, and every U.S. history teacher absolutely adores that.
Okay, I don't hate that. I was looking for a reason to hate that. I don't. In terms of parodies for school, if that's a pretty good one, it's not like Yankee Doodle or some just stupid song. You're just like, oh, this sucks, but that's at least a decent song.
Yeah, everyone remembers fondly the recently departed Tyler Stafford. R.I.P. He just deleted his account. He didn't die. But his absence from Twitter should be noted and felt. He and I wrote, and I say we, in meaning that I gave him the idea and he ended up writing the whole thing. We did a parody for our students because he taught 8th grade and I teach AP US history, and that sort of lines up a little bit on the Cake by the Ocean song. Okay. We turned that into Tea in the Ocean about the Boston Tea Party, and Tyler did knocked it out of the park. Like, it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that guy's too smart for his own good.
He's so smart. He removed himself from Twitter, which is the genius. Yeah. That's how you can tell he's an actual genius.
Yeah, there's a few times he hosted post game shows with me a couple times in 2017 maybe.
Yeah,
when you couldn't, and I was just like, yeah, you're too. Yeah, I can't. You're not allowed to be around me. You're too smart. You can't. No, that guy.
Anyway, so that's my Ryan Tedder story. He's like, he'll send me cigarettes from France, and I'm like, oh, I guess they're in. He's getting like cartons of Gauloise cigarettes. He's like, oh, I guess they're in France.
So, they really, they've kind of, that band's kind of gone away. I haven't heard really anything about them in a while.
Yeah, no, I think the guy is he produces. He's a producer now. I think that's. I mean,
they were pretty good. They made the kind of music that seems like it should have longevity, because it was musicianship based, and there was instruments, and it was it was still
good
pop.
Melody.
I don't know. Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So welcome to Lima time, which is occasionally about the Houston Astros, and you wouldn't know it listening so far, but the opening day is a week away.
Well, we could have tied in. It's too late for Brian Cashman to apologize.
I cannot.
Can you believe it? I don't want to touch on too much, because my whole thing's been, let's just pretend like none of this happened and not just let's not get caught up in this. Let's just move on from it. It sucks, but can you believe he had the unmitigated gall of this fucking guy?
The sheer audacity. I mean, hey, whatever makes you feel better that the Royals have more World Series titles than you do since 2010. If that's how you're going to let yourself sleep at night, that you were absolutely robbed by the Astros in 2017, without mentioning that it also happened in 2015 and 2019 and I believe 2020. No, they didn't have to go through the Yankees in 2021. Yeah, no. Whatever. If that's what you want to believe, then bro, go for it.
Well, that's the thing that made us so mad about all the Yankees talking. Aaron Judge talking about and Giancarlo Stanton. But that made us so mad. It's just like, you guys know that you were using this cheating. You know you were doing it at the same time. Like, to talk publicly about this is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Is it possible that Cashman didn't know what was going on as the GM? Is it possible?
If you're gonna nail Luno to the wall for not knowing, then you better nail Cashman to the wall for not knowing. If you can nail him for knowing or nail him for not knowing, but you cannot have it both ways.
But yeah, it's just that there's no way. Yeah, I can't believe. I can't believe anybody would be dumb enough to come out with that, especially with the whole unsealed letter thing and all that stuff looming. Like, why would you even? Better to just say nothing and then move on from that. I don't. That's what a dumb move.
It's not smart, but I think it shows that maybe Cashman's under a little bit more pressure than what people would be. Maybe old Uncle Hal Steinbrenner is ready to make some heads roll, and Cashman felt like he needed to get this in the public record as sort of an excuse for why they haven't, why they haven't really done anything of note There's eighth graders from Staten Island that are just crying that think that the Yankees never win the World Series, and that's sad. That's sad to me.
That makes me a little bit happy though. That there were young impressionable baseball minds that are just engulfed in the victimhood, and they happen to be fans of the New York Yankees, and just
my dad passed this down to me.
It's too rich.
I hate you, Dad, for making me a Yankees fan. They never win.
Yeah, Red Sox are winning all these World Series. They're just like, what? They live in this bizarre world. Yeah, I mean that's not even a bizarre world. That's the reality. Is the Yankees just don't win World Series anymore, and that's just what it is. So,
I would absolutely adore it if Jeff Luhnow would just come from out of absolutely nowhere and drop a press release like Trump's hole-in-one press release, and just be like, Mr. Cashman makes an excellent point, and I too feel aggrieved. If it weren't for the 2018 Red Sox, the Astros would have won back-to-back World Series titles. Stir up crap for absolutely, put yourself back in the story for absolutely no reason and at absolutely no benefit other than to dunk on Brian Cashman. Like that would be a legend move.
Yeah, but don't you think he's like angling to get back in baseball somehow?
Probably. He needs to go to soccer.
Did that group did they buy that team?
I don't know.
It was I'm trying to think what club it was.
Really, like the club that's based off of like the Netflix show that they're turning that into like the Club de Cuervos that aren't they? That's
no,
going to be
it was a lower tier premier team. It was like
the big rumor was Sunderland.
Like Sunderland, I think was that who was?
Yeah. That was the rumor, but I don't think that ever happened.
Yeah.
I need to look.
I was very interested in that. I mean, interested enough to not follow up and look at it up at all.
There's been a little bit going on the last 2 years.
That McKinsey approach would translate to to the top tiers of football.
Yeah, no, I mean you've McKinsey politics and McKinsey, social engineering and McKinsey baseball. Let's go mess up England.
But you don't have. See, I was really thinking about this. Like, I know that there's tons of. They do have metrics on players and how far they run and just different stuff. But you don't have even close to the amount of tracking statistics like baseball does. To where baseball really you can really dig in because you have numbers for everything. I feel like it's very still limited, even though they are tracking stuff. That's got to be a lot harder to do, which would make him want to do it even more probably
so. I want to know, I would love to be able to talk to someone at a professional soccer team to just see what are their metrics, like, because we all look at barrels and exit velocity and and I'm sure you can do that with your shot power and passing accuracy, but it's sort of the same thing. Like, you could have made an absolute beautiful pass, but the guy that you're trying to send it to like tripped over somebody's foot or just fell down because the grass was wet. And it looks like you didn't complete that pass when really 9 times out of 10 it's like,
or it's perfect and it's offside is called and it wasn't correct call. There's all sorts of different stuff that can.
Yeah, no, I'd love to get into that. There has to be. That's what I've lamented, as because there's not, every Sunday morning on ESPN, you've got 8 nerds breaking down film. There's just not I don't know how. And if there is, I haven't come across it. With soccer, there's not, what is it? Sunday morning NFL show on the random one that you would see.
Two British guys in suits or whatever.
Yeah. And it's just breaking, getting in there and X's and O's and drawing things up and really just kind of picking it apart. I'd love to watch that. I'd watch the hell out of that.
Yeah.
That's our new gig. That's what we're gonna do. We're qualified.
Our new show. Yeah, we're gonna buy Sunderland. We're gonna buy Sunderland. We're gonna go see what happens.
If we can ever get PayPal figured out, then
we
definitely put all the money towards that, buying Sunderland.
I mean, that's probably about the correct price. Yeah. So what else?
Okay, so I went through recently the transactions page for this offseason.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask you, do you remember this happening? And I'm gonna skip the free agency part.
Okay.
I I think. And so we all know Carlos Correa was granted free agency. We remember this, yes?
He went yard today.
Did he?
Or yesterday. Might have been yesterday.
That's so sad. Okay. Yimi Garcia was granted free agency. Do you know what team he signed with?
I have no idea.
I had to look it up. He signed with the Blue Jays.
Ooh, they got a squad up there.
That's smart. Marwin Gonzalez was granted free agency.
Yeah, he's the Yankees' premier. He's the New York Yankees' premier free agent signing of this offseason.
He is hitting 545 in spring training, and you always trust spring training stats.
Right. But I will conveniently forget that when I mentioned that that Pena is hitting 364 this spring.
Kendall Graveman granted free agency. Do you know where Kendall Graveman is pitching right now?
No, but I would have liked to keep Graveman, but okay.
Yeah. He has gone to the Chicago White Sox.
Okay, so another contender. Great. Okay.
So he has faced 9 batters and given up 1 walk. And that's it.
Yeah, he was pretty lights out. That's pretty rough. Okay. What else?
Zach Greinke granted free agency. Do you know where Zach Greinke is right now?
He's in Maui on vacation, just hanging out. He's retired. He's not playing anymore. I don't know.
He was just named opening day starter for where it all began, the Kansas City Royals.
Really?
Yeah.
His departure really flew under the radar. Like, I mean, I knew it was kind of a foregone conclusion, but like, I didn't see anything about it. Nothing. Yeah, just kind of like he just wasn't with the team anymore. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, and he just kind of felt like, didn't he get, or wasn't it rumored that he got COVID and he just wasn't the same when he came back?
I don't know.
Like, no, I mean, he was going like 3 and 4 innings, and that was like all he had.
Yeah, and it was out of nowhere because he was having a good season up until that point. Yeah, that I guess I do remember that now, but I just remember him the steep decline. Like, I don't know if it was just innings amassed over the season, and he just couldn't. His arm just couldn't do it anymore. But it was like he couldn't throw anymore. It was wild. Yeah,
no, I'm going to look into that another time.
Brooks
Raley. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that definitely hurt. Losing we already had all of our arms gone. So when McCullers go down, you have your other best arm is gone now as well. It's just like, fuck. Okay.
It's crazy to think that the Astros made it to the World Series with no Verlander, no McCullers in the ALCS, a fairly like the ghost of Zach Greinke. Like the fact that they made it as far as they did, that's
all the young guys stepped up and made pitches. Like, yeah, it was pretty exciting, but too bad they couldn't get it done.
Brooks Raley, in my head, they won. World Series champs. Getting the shirts made. True. Brooks Raley granted free agency. Where is Brooks Raley now?
Somewhere where he's thankful that he doesn't have to throw 4,000 innings.
Is every single day, every day Brooks Raley.
Yeah, he's a place where that has off days, so he's very excited. I have no idea where he went either.
He signed with Tampa Bay. Which means the next time we see him, which will invariably be against the Astros because he's going to throw every game, he'll be throwing 112 miles an hour. Yeah,
he will dominate us and be the MVP of some divisional series that we somehow lose to the Rays. Well, it's to make note, all these guys have gone to contenders that we will, and American League contenders at that we will have to deal with. So that's
no one went NL. That's
all of those teams are Toronto, Chicago, and Tampa are all. Kansas City, we don't have to worry about them.
Minnesota with Litos.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to really. They're not going to compete.
No. You're right. They're not. No. Justin, we'll do that next week when we do our opening night or opening day episode. Yeah. Justin Verlander was granted free agency. Where is Justin Verlander right now?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I didn't follow up on that one. He did look good the other day, though, by the way.
These are all like all the day games, and like I'm not watching a 5:00 New York.
Yeah, Mets, but you check out the box. The box. Just check out the box score. It was like 4 innings pitched, couple Ks, no runs. You just good old just vintage Verlander outing. Nice to see.
Good. On November 7th, the Astros granted free agency to Drew Butera.
Oh yeah, Drew. Go Drew.
I have no recollection of Drew Butera, because he did not play with the big league team in 2021. That would explain that.
There you go. That's why I have no idea who that is.
Good deal. Robel Garcia, Octrobel, was granted free agency.
Ooh, that'll be a tough one.
Let's see. He's with the Cubs now.
Okay.
He's batting 1,000. He's 1 for 1.
He's batting
1,000. Good for him.
It's not bad.
He played it. Robel Garcia played in 46 games for the Astros. He hit 151.
Yeah,
which is impressive. And with 117 plate appearances to get 16 hits, like that's.
And he loves Bacardi, so it's like that was pretty cool that he did that.
November 19th, the Astros traded Garrett Stubbs to the Philadelphia Phillies.
That's going to be a good team. So that's good for Garrett. That's fun. It'll be fun for him.
I have no recollection of that trade happening. They got him for a 21-year-old. I don't know what position he plays. 21-year-old center fielder.
Okay, that's good. We need one of those.
Who is in A ball. So
okay,
just starting.
You got
his
something
career.
for Garrett Stubbs. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's a lottery ticket. I mean, they're 10th round pick in 2021. So, probably as far as from a development standpoint, you're probably okay leaving the Phillies to go to the Astros as far as your career is concerned.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're true.
Kent Emanuel was picked up off of waivers. Mr. 8 point, was it 8.2? Was it 8.1?
What are you talking about?
Well, we gave him a nickname when he was on the show.
Oh, I don't remember anything about that, but it was a great episode.
That was a great episode.
No, I was not being facetious. It was a great episode. I do not remember I don't remember that part.
We gave it because that's how many innings he threw in relief of Jake Odorizzi in his major league debut.
Yeah.
So whatever.
That
do you know? So Ken Emanuel was claimed off of waivers by what team?
Didn't he go to Philadelphia as well?
He did go to Philadelphia. Ken Emanuel is now in Philadelphia.
That dude rules. He was candid with the fans and like just that guy rules.
He got so royally screwed, like it's not even fair.
Yeah.
The picograms and all of that stupid stuff. Good for Ken Emanuel.
Yeah, that guy does rule. So wish him the best. Go Phillies. Go ahead and go Phillies. Let's go win the NL East. Attack the Braves, crush everybody. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and then we could lose the World Series to a different NL East team.
No, we're gonna win the World Series now.
We'll do that next week. The Astros signed on December 1st Hector Neris.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no recollection of this whatsoever. In 2021, 3 points. He's a reliever, 3.63 ERA, 12 saves, 1.17 WHIP.
It's pretty good. That's extremely good.
11.9 strikeouts. 11.9 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Okay.
Spent his whole career with the Phillies. So we're doing a lot of it's Ed Wade all over again. We only deal with the Phillies.
Yeah. Jesus. You remember how fun that was? We're just Brett Myers. It's just getting recycled over and over again.
Ronnie Dawson.
Okay.
Who he was one of those guys that when I had the blog, like I was really excited about Ronnie Dawson. He got, what did he get? Yeah, he got claimed off of waivers by Cincinnati. I'm not even going to make you guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to get any of these right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, good for Ronnie Dawson. I like it when it's clear that it's probably not going to work out. Which, I mean, the Astros could use an outfielder right now. And maybe that was short-sighted to put Dawson on waivers. I don't know.
Well, I think they still have enough. I think they have enough to fill the team. But yeah, no, I like that too. When the guys are kind of stuck here with a ceiling, or a team that has there's no way pretty much to the big leagues, then they get a chance to go somewhere else and have a chance to play. That's the best.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, if you're a third baseman with the Astros, you're like, well, crap, because Bregman's not going anywhere. and I know, Sugarland's nice, but your goal your entire life has been to make it to the majors, and just the crapshoot that a dude was born a couple years before you and developed and got a long-term deal because he contributed. Like that's got to be tough.
Yeah, that must suck to get. I mean, and it's I'd say suck in a. Obviously, it doesn't suck to get drafted, but for you to get drafted by a contending team with a full lineup, you're just like, fuck, dude. Like especially one that's like young, like the Astros. It's like this potentially could be set for your entire duration of your entire prime. So like, what? Fuck. I mean, you can just do your best and try to get out of there, but that sucks. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Especially when you're controlled by that team. That sucks.
Yeah, you just hope that you're not hoping for an injury, but you're hoping
you
for
are.
an opportunity.
Yes, you are. You really are.
Yeah, you are hoping for an injury, but you're hoping that your agent is going to get you is going to put you in because your agent needs you to make it to the major leagues and needs you to do well because that commission's no joke. But yeah, that's where you just kind of you put in your work, and when the opportunity comes to find a different team, then you get put in a position. And the Reds, I mean, that's good for Ronnie Dawson. The Reds are getting rid of everybody. Like it's tryout time in Cincinnati.
I want them to be good one year. That just that sucks that the Reds are just terrible. They're cursed by the ghost of Marge Schott, so there's nothing really they can do about it.
The one year that they made it to the playoffs, Roy Halladay throws was it?
Rest in peace, Roy Halladay. He died in a hang glider or something?
It was a plane crash.
Airplane crash. Yeah, he just
was it? It wasn't I don't think it was it couldn't have been a perfect game, but it was at least a no hitter. Like your fan base even looking, this is your shot, and here comes freaking Hall of Famer Roy Halladay throwing a no hitter in the postseason, and that's that.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But it was one of the I thought they deserved better. So shout out to the Reds.
For the ghost of Eric Davis, like just do it for Chris.
Eric Davis and Marge Schott are just flying around, and she's being a racist, and Eric chasing Eric Davis's ghost around.
I don't think Eric Davis is dead. That's the funny.
Yeah, Chris Sabo's ghost. Chris Sabo's also dead, and she's chasing his. Even though he's like, I'm white, and she's like, I can't tell with the glasses on, and she's flying around. What a terrible lady she was. Anyway.
So we're not the free agents. We're not going to get into that.
All right. Well, to piggyback off the center field talk. What do you think it's Chas McCormick opening day?
It seems like Jake. It sounds like Jake Myers is ahead of schedule. So
is this the same injury from the postseason last year?
Yeah, when he tried to make that catch, and
it was like a shoulder or something. I don't even know what the injury was.
Apparently, the wall just like blew his shoulder up. Like there was a literal bomb.
That's what it looked like. I don't remember ever hearing an announcement. It's like he walked off, he was gone, and that was kind of it. That's a long recovery time. Then that seems like a long time.
He laid, didn't he? Is that he laid on the field for?
Yeah, I mean, he went straight. I mean, he went straight full speed with his shoulder out like that into the. I mean, it looked like a shoulder collarbone
separated. Yeah, something.
That still seems like a long time to heal.
4.5 months. I mean, that's a substantial injury.
Yeah, I guess. Well, because that's who Jake would be. Yeah, that's who I would want at center field. I think Chas had his shot, and I wish the best to Chas, but I'm not.
Well, he's got to come in. He's got to come in knowing that as soon as Jake Myers is ready to go, then if you're Chas McCormick, you want to force them to make a hard decision. When Myers is ready to come back. Siri
over McCormick now. I would go with Siri if you know that Myers is coming back, then I would go with Siri over McCormick because there's kind of like there's a little bit more upside. No offense to Chas McCormick. I mean, saying you don't know Siri's kind of there's more unknown with him. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, but if you're Siri or McCormick, then you're trying to make the Astros uncomfortable in whatever decision they have to make. But I do think, despite the MLB on Fox poll declaring Seattle the winners of the 2022 AL West, I think you've got a little bit of time just because of the state of the division. The Rangers are going to be better, and it'll be nice to see maybe
I mean, they'll be better than the worst, but they are going to be terrible.
They've got what, Simeon and Seager. They spent like
Yeah,
$500 million in like a day and a half.
They did some decent patchwork free agent signing. I mean, I give them a little bit of credit there, but they're still rebuilding, so they're going to be awful. The pitching's not great.
They're waiting on Jack Leiter, and I don't know. I wonder is Jack Leiter the guy that everyone thought Mark Appel was going to be, or is he going to be Mark Appel part 2, or is he the advanced college pitcher that seemingly is closer just by nature of his status and ability to contributing, because I don't think Jack Leiter spent 4 years in the minors, and I'm not saying Mark Appel did, but that's sort of the path of the draftee in baseball. We'll see. I don't want any of their prospects to work out, so let's hope that doesn't happen. So wait, who predicted Seattle to win the MLB? The MLB on Fox Twitter account ran a poll, and fans.
So all Arsler people, a bunch of retarded people voted on this.
Like you said, you abbreviated.
I know,
like, no,
but I had to make a point across. But like the dumbest people on earth were voted for this. So that because Seattle winning a division is crazy. It's crazy.
I do think that with a healthy, so essentially either the Angels or the Rangers are going to take Oakland's spot because Oakland's decided to tear it down because it's been 20 minutes since they've done that.
Yeah, they can't enjoy good things. But yeah, it's got. The Angels, even though they're as much a foregone conclusion as the Mariners are, as in terms of how they're going to finish. We know that Mariners are going to, no matter what they're doing, they will fall off. And just like the Angels will always come back to 500 every single time, no matter what. But the Angels have good players.
Yeah, I still don't. I don't know where their pitching is. That's their as good as the Astros lineup is.
You got Shohei for pitching every. Yeah, you're right. They don't really have.
I did see a thing. I need to figure out what was the trade, but one of in the Jeff Passan like season preview that was published today, the under the radar pitcher to watch was Patrick Sandoval for Anaheim, and I'm gonna ask you because Patrick Sandoval was drafted by the Astros, and who did the Astros trade him to the Angels for? Traded by the Astros with international bonus slot money to the Los Angeles Angels for this player on July 26, 2018.
Oh, I was Cameron Maven. No, that was 2017.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Martin Maldonado.
That would have been my next guess. I should have just guessed that. Yeah. I was trying to think of all the connections with the Angels. It was like Stubbs. It was Maldonado. Yeah, that's not Stubbs. But who's the catcher that was with the Angels for a season?
I think it was Stubbs. No, Stubbs went. The other Stubbs went to it. The other Stubbs went to Anaheim.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That makes sense.
So it'd be interesting to see. He was fourth. Sandoval was fourth on the team in total WAR last year. Max Stassi. That's who we're thinking of.
Stassi, yeah.
Because I just happened to be on the Angels page. So
Max
I don't know who's
Stassi. He plays a catcher. He's a good
Maximiliano.
Amaron. Get the base hit.
Sandoval had a pretty decent. It was very limited. 17 games, 14 starts, 3.62 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, almost 10 strikeouts per 9. Like he's a good pitcher.
Well, based on what Martin Maldonado has, not even turned into, he's been a pretty much elite catcher. But it's worth it, even if Sandoval becomes a superstar. You've got a guy manning the helm behind the plate, and has been pretty valuable. So I'm still not gonna. I usually get mad if we trade somebody that becomes great. It makes me very upset. It really does. The JD
Yeah, no, I get
Martinez,
it.
that kind of stuff, just like, oh, or even let them walk away. If we have somebody and we're the smart ones. We're not supposed to people aren't supposed to get the best of us ever. So I get mad if somebody is good.
Johan Santana, Rule 5 pick. The Astros left unprotected.
Imagine
Bobby Abreu.
So there's a lot of them actually.
The Johan said that's sort of a if you play the what if game, then Johan Santana on the 04-05 Astros.
It makes them impossible. It doesn't matter that they can't score any runs because you will not score runs. Yeah, you just like every game's 1-0, but I mean if he's in that rotation, that's a wrap.
Yep.
That's fun. That's fun to think about.
Yeah. What if? All right. What else you got? Right. You got anything?
No, the center field thing was Verlander looked good. And then I casually mentioned that Pena's hitting 364 this spring, which it can be good or it's bad depending on how you look at the spring or if you respect it at all. That's probably better than him not doing that.
Yeah, no, those hits. Yeah, he's getting. I don't know is he getting those hits off of number 98, or is he getting those hits? And I just don't care enough about spring training to do any research.
Yeah, but I see these are the things I like to see peripherally. Like and he's made a few great. I mean, obviously he's a great defensive shortstop, so you're not gonna lose any defense that you have with Carlos. With Pena, he's incredible defensively, but he's made a few great plays. So I just want to see that. As planned. I didn't watch Verlander start, but I saw the numbers. I'm like, that's what I like to see. Like, just like, yep. Thank you. Yes. So that's just something to make note of. I don't know. We'll make a real note of it next week, but when we do our official preview with our official predictions. But as of now, this is all just conjecture and nonsense talk.
Yeah, sure is.
Sweet. People are like, well, I'm glad we got to hear about the One Republic logic in depth, and then you start breaking down the Astros. It's like you don't know anything. It's like you know more about Logic than you do about the rapper you don't listen to. You know more about the rapper you don't listen to than you do the team that you're doing a podcast about. So it's like
so funny. I love this show so much.
Yeah, it's the best. It's my show. We can do whatever we want. So yeah.
Yep.
We'll see you bozos next week.
Okay. See ya.
Goodbye forever. I think we're still live on YouTube. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was fun.